Steam has been rolling in money for quite some time, with a market share of 75% or even higher depending on your source, and a user base of approximately 120 million players. Naturally, this makes other companies want to try to compete with the giant that is Steam. This is where Uplay or Ubisoft Connect comes in. Ubisoft decided that they wanted some of Steam's market share, so they released Uplay, an app that would allow you to browse a storefront, download, and even manage updates for all your Ubisoft games. It also allowed you to unlock Uplay rewards for playing their games. But oh, trust me, it wouldn't be the Ubisoft we know and love without its controversies. One of these controversies happened less than a month after Uplay's release, when programmers discovered that Uplay was a rootkit that gave outsiders full access to a user's computer, which would allow the attacker to do whatever they wanted to the victim's PC. Ubisoft tried to deny this by blaming a browser plugin that Uplay utilized, claiming it wasn't a rootkit by design and that it was an accidental programming error, but the damage had already been done. This controversy left a permanent stain on Uplay's reputation. There has been forum posts everywhere of people asking as late as 2018 if Uplay was still a rootkit. It's needless to say that Uplay's user base took a big hit as a result of this. Ubisoft continued to support Uplay, however, giving it continuous updates and continuing to release Ubisoft titles on its storefront. A huge announcement for PC gamers in 2019 was the release of Xbox Game Pass to PC, which brought tons of huge franchises to PC subscribers for only $10 a month. On top of that, you got 20% off any game in the Game Pass library, which if you hate spending $60 to $70 on every AAA release, Game Pass is a great deal. I would recommend it. But seeing the success and great reception that Xbox received for its release of Game Pass to PC, Ubisoft decided once again that they wanted a taste of what Xbox had. So they released their next money-making scheme, a subscription service called Uplay Plus, which gave access to over 100 classic and massive Ubisoft titles like Pet Horses 2, Chess Royale, and the entire Settlers franchise, for the low price of $15 a month. This means Ubisoft was charging the same price for Uplay Plus as Microsoft was charging for Game Pass Ultimate, which Game Pass Ultimate had more games and better games than Uplay Plus, and they were available on both Xbox and PC, which meant that Uplay Plus was just a way worse deal, and the reviews spoke for themselves. It wasn't like Uplay Plus was bad, it was just way worse than the competition. It just didn't make financial sense to purchase it instead of something like Game Pass Ultimate. In October of 2020, Ubisoft made a big announcement. They decided to merge Uplay and Ubisoft Club into what's known today as Ubisoft Connect. They also rebranded Uplay Plus to Ubisoft Plus around the same time. They forced every user to move from Uplay to Ubisoft Connect, promising this merger or rebrand would bring cross-platform and cross-progression to every major Ubisoft title, which was a huge deal at the time. But as always, Ubisoft failed to meet expectations. Cross-progression launched with support for only Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Immortals Fenyx Rising, and Riders Republic, which weren't even Ubisoft's biggest titles at the time. This left a lot of users disappointed, on top of the fact that Ubisoft Connect was a more buggy, downgraded version of Uplay that barely worked at times. Ubisoft Connect also leaves old versions of itself in its folder, so over time it starts to take up space on your drive. At one point I checked it, and it was over 10 gigabytes for me. I unfortunately don't have a screenshot of this, so you'll have to take my word on it. But on top of this, it stores every profile picture of every player that you ever see in an online match locally on your hard drive. So every time you play a game of Rainbow Six Siege, for example, the avatar folder will add 30 PNGs, 3 sizes of each person's pictures, because every single match of Rainbow Six has 10 players. So it will store 3 different profile pictures, because Ubisoft requires there to be 3 different sizes of your profile picture for the different areas that someone might open them in. So over time, you could see how this could fill up your drive. My avatar folder has probably thousands of PNGs inside of it, and this never gets purged. You have to purge this yourself if you want to alleviate some of the space that Ubisoft Connect fills up on your hard drive. With a storefront, you can't even browse in the app, and the fact that you can't even change account information like your username inside the app as well, it leaves me wondering, why does Ubisoft require you to have this garbage installed on your computer to play their games? Surely they know that this app is making people less likely to buy their products, right? And then I remembered that if you buy a game on their store, guess what? They can make their own refund policy. And trust me, their refund policy is non-existent. Ubisoft's refund policy states that you can refund within 14 days of purchase. But here's the catch. Only if the game is not launched in any way, which means you can't even try the product you purchased without waiving your right to a refund, which completely defeats the purpose of the refund. I don't ever see a reason why I would purchase a game and then need a refund without actually playing it. The whole point of the refund is so if you don't enjoy the game, or if the game is buggy on launch and barely functions, you can refund the game and get your money back. Because I shouldn't be forced to keep a game that doesn't work like Battlefield 2042 when I spent my money on it. And if you compare this to Steam's refund policy, which allows you to refund 14 days after purchase, or with 2 hours of game time, I'm sure you guys will realize the discrepancy between Ubisoft's refund policy and Steam's. Not to mention, Steam is way more lenient in extreme situations than Ubisoft. Like, for example, the Battlefield 2042 situation that I just mentioned. Steam gave out refunds for Battlefield 2042. No matter what your game time was, whether you opened the game, whether you didn't, you could have hundreds of hours in the game. As long as you gave a valid reason as to why you needed a refund, Steam would provide it. Whereas Ubisoft policy doesn't even let you play the game without voiding your rights to your refund. Ubisoft Connect is just by far one of the worst game launchers out there that I've used, right next to Origin, which is EA's proprietary launcher. Origin is almost on the same level. Honestly, it might even be worse than Ubisoft Connect. I don't think I need to tell you guys about EA's track record for you to understand why, but if you guys want me to make a video on Origin, let me know down below in the comments. Also, if you guys are in the mood for a good laugh, you could click this video, which is my most recent Funny Moments video. It's really hilarious. I'm sure you'll get a great laugh out of it. And also, if you'd like to help me out, you could click subscribe. See you guys later. Peace.